was sweet. So you mentioned about how you were getting work and stuff like that. You actually played in a band that actually toured with Tin Lizzy.
Sorry, what did you say? Sorry.
Was it Tin Lizzy you toured with?
Oh yeah, I toured with Thin Lizzy. I was in a band called The Physicals. Brian James went off to play with Iggy Pop for a tour. And so Alan Lee Shaw, who was in the band, said, oh, we're not going to hang around and wait for him to come back. I've got this band called The Physicals as well, and we're going to do this tour with Thin Lizzy. And it was fantastic. It was another one of those, you know, really educational experiences. And Phil Lynott was such a lovely guy, such a sweet guy, and became good friends, and really enjoyed all of that. And then, of course, strangely enough, I ended up playing with Iggy Pop many years later, but on a more regular basis than Brian.
Yeah, I mean, that's the sort of thing we were talking about backstage before, about maybe a lot of people, like you say, more obviously familiar with your work with the Subs, and not necessarily familiar with what you did before and after, sort of first time round. I mean, obviously one of the big things, I was lucky enough to see you play with Iggy Pop. How did that come about?
I was living in Los Angeles. Another one of those crazy sort of like scams, you know, it's like, oh, I'll go to Los Angeles and I'm bound to get some work as a bass player. So I went and I started playing with this band called Broken Glass, and we had got a deal with Chrysalis Records. And then Andy McCoy, who had been in Hanoi Rocks, had got the gig as guitar player for Iggy. And Iggy had a full band apart from the bass player. And Andy tracked me down, because I told everyone, don't give Andy my number, because Andy's trouble sometimes, you know. He's into chemicals, and you know, and he can be, you know. I heard stories. He'd come to LA and someone had lent him a guitar, and then a week later they walked down Hollywood Boulevard and it was in a pawn shop. You know, this kind of. And I thought, no, don't give him my number. Anyway, someone gave him my number, and I'm glad they did, because he phoned me and he's like, "Hey, Alvin, oh man, good, I got you at home at last. Could you play bass for Iggy Pop?" I'm like, fuck. So, well, what are you on now, you know?
You actually think he was like, just smashed that with his head, or it was a wind-up?
Yeah, I want to play for the Rolling Stones too, Andy. Yeah, all right, mate, yeah, whatever. I said, no, fuck, man, I'm not being honest, you know, oh yeah, I'm coming round, we're going to meet him, you've got to play for Iggy with me. And I said, all right, whatever, put the phone down. And sure enough, about half an hour later, this limo pulls up. And I'm like, what? And Andy gets out, knocks on the door. Hey, get in the limo, we're going to meet Iggy. And we did, and we had lunch with Iggy Pop. I didn't have to play a note, I just talked to the guy. Andy sung my praises. And next thing you know, I'm off on a world tour with Iggy Pop. I mean, it was simple.
That's you went on obviously a huge world tour with Iggy as well. So
7 months non-stop. Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah.
That's it. I mean, got, you know what I mean, the man, the legend, he's not called the Godfather of punk for nothing. Yeah. What was it like working with him? Did you have that band situation, or did he make you kind of plain that you were the hype bands, or?
No, back then it was. Later on, I know it changed. But back then it was, in fact, Henry, who's the road manager for Iggy, said that was, has told me, that was the last time it was like a proper band, you know. We all shared the same dressing room. You know. Now, Iggy doesn't do that. Band's in one dressing room, he's in another dressing room. But back then, it was like a proper band. And it was great. I mean, Iggy, or Jim, as I know, is a completely different animal off stage than he is on. I mean, it really is one of those Jekyll Hyde kind of split personality deals.
Very intelligent man as well. He's very intelligent man as well.
Extremely intelligent, and when he's Jim, he's got his glasses on, he's always reading, he's very knowledgeable. We'd go to Sao Paulo in Brazil, and he would go, "Hey, Alvin, yeah, do you know that there's the biggest population in this city in the Southern Hemisphere?" and their economy, and they just go into this whole thing about Sao Paulo and the history of it, and I'm like, wow. And then like 4 hours later, he's running around the stage, throwing himself on monitors and letting some demented girl scratch bits of flesh out of his chest. You know, it was really strange.
I remember reading a biography of him, and he actually, when he was in high school in America, he was actually tipped as a future president. Can you imagine Iggy Pop running America? I mean, it'd make it better fucking president than Donald Trump, obviously, you know what I mean? But let's keep it with like sort of, again, what people may not be, or may be familiar with, like, you know,